So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, so the long season is over. The playoffs are right around the corner. And for the Chicago Bulls, they will be playing their first playoff series since 2017-2016 when they take on the Milwaukee Bucks on a 7-game series. The series will start on Sunday. And in this video, I'm going to give y'all my preview and prediction for how the series will go. And I'm going to give you 3 keys that the Bulls should use to be able to maybe pull off an upset. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here. Back at it with another video. Back at it with another Bulls postseason discussion. So, the Chicago Bulls are going into their first playoff series in a long time, in like 4 or 5 years, when they'll be playing against the defending champions. Yes, the defending champions, Milwaukee Bucks. The Chicago Bulls were able to slip into the 6th seed, which is big progress from the 13th seed for last year. So, really, it's a big improvement since last year. Now, the main focus now is to try and play competitively against the Milwaukee Bucks, but it won't be easy. So I'm going to give y'all 3 reasons how they can make it easier on themselves. And starting with that first reason is everybody has to buy in. Everybody has to play hard. Everybody has to buy into what they're doing. What I mean by that is everybody have to give 100% effort. No loafing on defense, no loafing on offense. Everybody has to be engaged. Everybody has to buy in that they are the underdog. They are, the massive underdog. They are the expected to get swept. So take that personally. Come in with some motivation. Buy into the fact that you're an underdog and come out and shock the Bucks in game 1 and game 2. Now, they will start in Milwaukee since Milwaukee has home court advantage. All you have to do, as an honorable mention, is to steal one of those games in Milwaukee. If you can steal one, that will, especially game 1, if you can steal game 1, that will prove fruitful for the rest of the series. Now, the second reason on how the Bulls can kind of make this series interesting is they have to start playing some defense. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks have been kicking our tails around for the entire season, but it's the postseason, like I said earlier in the video, is that everybody has to buy in. The postseason is a completely new season. Just think of it like that. It's the season has reset itself. The stakes are just higher. And part of that is you got to play some defense. You might not have been a good defensive team for the rest of the regular season, the second half, but now you can start being a good defensive team again in the playoffs. Everything's going to start to slow down. Teams aren't going to be as, hot as they were coming into the playoffs. Everybody has to game plan, game after game after game. You got to game plan for your opponent. So defense will be a big key. You're going to have to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo as always, or at least slow him down, because nobody can stop him. Really, the main guy you have to take out of his element is, 2 guys. The 2 guys that you have to take out of their element is Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday. If you're able to take those guys out of their rhythm by playing good defense, rotating on defense, help defense, forcing turnovers, if you're able to get those guys out of the rhythm, Middleton and Holiday, that will make Giannis's job much harder, because he won't have those 2 guys, those 2 borderline all-stars. One of them is an all-star. Help him out on the offensive end. So if you can take them out of their rhythm, make them uncomfortable, wear them down. I think Stacey King said it best. Play some extended pressure on Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton. Make them tired. Make them dread coming up and down that court. Wear them down so they won't have fresh legs to take jump shots and splash you with threes. So you got to play some type of defense. Help on defense. Help your fellow man on defense. Call out screens. The things that you weren't doing in the second half of the regular season, it can start now. So defense is another big key for how the Bulls can possibly make this series entertaining. They're the underdogs, like I said. If you play some defense, that will make Giannis' job a lot harder. That will make the other team adjust to what you're doing. So if they're able to do that, they can make the series competitive, but it all starts with defense. So that's the second key. The third key is everybody has to contribute on offense. Everybody. Now, mainly Patrick Williams. Now, we all saw the 35-point game against Minnesota. We all see the talent he showed in that game. So now we know he can be that somewhat third option-ish, because sometimes you're not going to be able to rely on Nikola Vucevic to give you that 15 points. Mainly Patrick Williams will have to step up on offense, and not just him. It will have to be a complete team effort on offense. If you take good shots, don't turn the ball over, take the shots when you're open. Move the ball around, ball movement, player movement. The offense has to buy in. The Milwaukee Bucks are not that good of a defensive team. And despite, getting all the fancy blocks and turnovers, they actually give up a lot of threes. And that's a big key to the series. If the Bulls start making threes again, you can really surprise Milwaukee with that. Because they're not a very good defensive team like that. They're an all-around. They don't have very good individual defenders, I should say. Drew Holiday is probably the exception to that, but everybody else is kind of okay-ish on defense. So if you're able to drive and kick out to three-point shots, and you're hitting them, that will make the Milwaukee Bucks think twice about leaving guys open. So everybody has to buy in on offense. When you get open shots, you got to take them. You got to be careful with the ball. You got to move around the court, get some open shots for your team. Mainly run, and this is for Donovan's sake, run plays that are going to get you open three-pointers, because the Milwaukee Bucks give up a lot of three-pointers. If the Bulls are able to make at least, 13 three-pointers, they'll win game one. That's all. They have to buy in on offense. They got to believe and buy in on offense completely. And when the three isn't falling, switch up. For Donovan, you got to make adjustments. Tell your players to go to the paint more. Try to get some fouls. Set up everything inside out. Drive and kick. Everybody has to buy in. The coach has to make adjustments. The coaching staff has to make adjustments. Your players have to make adjustments. The coaches and players have to buy in. They all have to be on the same page. That's what the playoffs are about. So that's the third key. Everybody has to buy in on offense. Everybody has to contribute. Mainly Patrick Williams, because I think he can be that 15 points per game scorer. But Nikola Vucevic has to step up. Ayo's probably going to have to start. Caruso is healthy, I think. He's getting ready to go into the playoffs healthy. And so we'll have him back. But everybody has to pitch in. It has to be a full team effort for the series for it to be even competitive, so you won't get swept. So, ultimately, how do I think this series will go? Well, I do think the Milwaukee Bucks will win the series. However, I will go with Bucks in 6. Bucks in 6 or 5, actually. I do think the Bulls will put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, Milwaukee is they're the defending champions. They're very talented, and they've been here before. They have a lot of battle-tested players on that team who have been deep in the playoffs, who have won the finals from that same team last year. So ultimately, the Bucks will win this series. What game they win it in, it will probably be in 5 or 6. I see the Bulls maybe taking one at Milwaukee and maybe one at home. But ultimately, I think the Bucks will overcome, and they will beat the Chicago Bulls in 6 or 5 games. Who knows? I'm going to go with 6 games. I think the Bucks will win in 6. Ultimately, they're too talented. They've been here before. But the Bulls can change that by changing the way they play and using some of these keys to their advantage. So we'll see. Bucks in 6. But this is a great step for the Bulls. Being back in the playoffs, getting players adjusted to the playoffs, getting, Zach LaVine will be playing his first playoff series of his career. So this is good for the Bulls going forward in the long term, that when they make adjustments to the team, when they, change some guys up on the roster, guys with playoff experience go a long way. So ultimately Bucks in 6, but I hope it will be a competitive series. As a Bulls fan, I really want them to pull the upset. I just think it's unlikely. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Follow me on social media. Share this video with your friends. Get ready for playoff time. And see red, people. I'm out. Peace.